This time he's going to hand it off. That's Escarcega. He's in around the left side. Touchdown. Up at the 20. Now he's coming down the sideline. He gets a block. He's out to the 48. Oh, no, they're going to fake the handoff. And now under heavy pressure and coming in on the sack is going to be Connor Fry. He did that twice last week. He could go all the way. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. Touchdown, Eduardo Hernandez.
Welcome back. This is Zane Powers. We got another edition of Behind the Mask. I'm joined by another Dumas Demon football player. I'll have them introduce themselves and tell you all about themselves. So tell us your name, your number, and your position.
All right, I'm Andrew Flores. I'm number 9, and I'm a DB in the corner for the outside.
All right. Who is your position coach?
Coach Phillips.
Coach Phillips. All right. And does anybody call you Andrew?
No.
What does everybody call you?
Drew or Bug. Drew
Okay.
Bug. Same
All
thing,
right.
yeah.
Okay. Who is the fastest player on offense?
I'd say Jacob. Jacob's quick.
All right. Yeah. Can see that. What about on defense?
I'd like to say myself, but
Yeah.
Eminal gives me competition too.
Yeah, you and Eminal. Yeah, it's probably pretty good competition right there for sure. If the coaches were to line up and race, who would win?
I don't know. Coach Jeff's pretty fast.
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't show it, but he's pretty fast.
Okay. All right. Dance battle breaks out in the locker room. What player wins?
Jacob and Johnny, they'll go at it.
Okay.
Yep, I think
All
so.
right. And Johnny Marquez or
Johnny Gutierrez.
Okay.
Gutierrez.
All right. What about which coach? Which coach has the best moves?
I don't know. I like to see Coach Mo go at it.
That has been, I think he's kind of been a common answer so far. What songs do you find on your playlist before the game? We'll get you going.
I like to listen to a lot of Kanye.
Okay. All right. What away stadium do you love playing in the most?
South Plains Capital.
Okay. All right. Which away stadium do you not like playing in?
Let me think about that one. I don't like playing in Borger.
Okay. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
We won't be there this year. All right. Teammate most likely to be a bodyguard.
Big Keeg.
Yeah, for sure. Teammate most likely to eat all the Halloween candy.
I feel like Blake. Sneaky quarterback.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, for sure. Teammate most likely to jump in front of you to steal an interception.
Johnny Marquez.
Okay, yeah. Coach most likely to run through the wall after they hear one of Coach Dunnam's pep talks.
Coach Linger gets pretty fired up.
Okay, yeah, you see that. Teammate most likely to run for president.
Cole. I think Cole would be a good president.
For sure. I could see that. Teammate most likely to beat everyone to give you a high five when you get an interception.
Reese Waddell.
Okay, Reese.
Yep.
Little backfield mate there. Who do you think about this? Assistant coach most likely to be a head coach one day. Which one of the assistants can you see being a head coach?
Coach Waddell.
Coach Waddell? Yeah, I can see that. Okay, so these are going to be a little bit more serious.
Okay.
You guys playing a lot of big games. Who keeps the locker room loose for you guys?
Well, everybody likes to get hyped up, but I think Jacob likes to give a little speeches. Johnny, everybody cares about each other, so we try to keep each other.
That's good. Is there any special reason that you wearing the number you're wearing this year?
No reason. Just wanted a single digit.
All right. Yeah, that'll look good on you, number 9. What senior teammate's going to have a breakout season this year? What senior?
I think Cole.
Cole?
Yes, sir.
I would like that. That'd be good. What about who's an underclassman that nobody's heard of? Maybe was on varsity last year, didn't get to play much, or is brand new to varsity this year that's going to have a breakout year?
Definitely Blake.
Blake?
Yeah.
All right. What has football taught you about life?
That even when things don't go your way, that you can still overcome them. And that no matter what, you keep your head up and keep pushing.
All right. Well, Bug,
Yes, sir.
thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir.
Looking for a big year from you.
Yes, sir. I'll make it happen.
Watch out for number 9 on defense.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're watching Dumas ISD TV.
Welcome to week 6 of the Coaches Show with head coach of the Dumas Demons, Aaron Dunnam. I'm Zane Powers, joined by head coach Aaron Dunnam.
Hey, thanks, Zane. Sure appreciate you having me. Always look forward to talking about our kids and talking about our football team.
I do too, Coach. This past week, the Demons fell short in a road battle at Bushland with the Bushland Falcons, 28-17. There's a lot of good things to take away from Friday night's game, and we'll kind of break those down. What are your overall thoughts, though?
I thought it was a great game. I'm not as I told our team, I'm not a huge moral victory guy, but I believe there was one in that ball game. I think I think especially in the second half, I think we really realized what type of football team we can be.
Sure.
When we execute. That was a big thing. Was a tale of two halves. Yeah. I don't think we executed real well defensively in the first half. Executed really well on offense. And then came back the second half, and executed really well defensively. And not that we did not execute on offense. We continued to execute on offense. We just, we didn't come away with points
Sure.
on those drives. And so a lot to take away from it. A lot of really good. I think our kids understand, what we can be when we do things right. I think we showed that. And again, it was a challenge versus a really good football team. I mean, a very, very explosive Bushland football team, both offensively and defensively. I mean, they're very, very aggressive on the defensive side of the ball. They've got a senior quarterback that's run that offense for a long time, and he's very comfortable in doing what he's doing. And they, fast-paced early. I think that shocked us a little bit. Got us on our heels a little bit, but once we settled in, I thought we played some really, really good football. Just really excited about what we saw, and just excited, that our kids continue to get better. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt. Not necessarily we're playing better. We're doing a lot more things right than we are doing wrong, and I just think we're eventually going to see the fruits of our labor.
I agree, Coach. I want to point out some things, and we can talk about them as we go. The first thing is you outgained Bushland 436 to 387. There was only 1 3-and-out from the offense. So as you said, you're able to move the ball. I thought one of the most amazing things as I went back and was just kind of looking over things, you had 2 different drives, one of 13 plays, one of 16 plays, that both of those ended in scoring. How does that kind of help as far as the way that Bushland wants to play, fast, go to break that up with a 13-play drive and a 16-play drive? How does that kind of help, especially kind of be able to get your defense's feet underneath them and kind of break that momentum from Bushland as well? Sure.
For the first time, I felt defensively we were over there a lot. Our defense players were getting a lot of rest because our offense was on the field. I just think that's a different style of offense maybe that you've seen in Dumas in a while.
Sure.
We were throwing the football around, and I just think our young freshman quarterback Colton Mills really gives us a great opportunity to do that. We've known that for a long time. That he's got a really talented arm, and he's just it was really good just to see our receivers step up, and just something that you normally aren't seeing from us. I mean, we're a run the football, ground and pound, and we were wide open a little bit, empty set, nobody in the backfield, and throwing the ball around. So that's good to see. I just think it's going to bring a dynamic to our offense. I don't think it's going to – we're not going to all of a sudden stop running the football. But what it is going to allow us to do is I don't think people anymore can just pack the box and say, hey, Dumas is going to run the football. I think you're going to have to be really good on defending us on both the run and the pass.
Sure. One of these drives, Coach, was to open up the second half. And, we kind of finished the half being able to move the ball down there, had an opportunity. The field goal just didn't go in. But you go into halftime, you get the ball, you go on a 6-minute drive, and it ends in points where you get a field goal to start out the second half. And basically you kind of make them stand there and watch things for real time, about 45 minutes between when their offense is able to get on the field. Kind of talk about how things really did kind of start to click offensively.
Well, they did. If you really look at that, we had an opportunity there in the first half, I think at one point we were on the 5-yard line. I think we had first and goal from the 5.
Yeah.
Had a couple negative plays and ended up having to try a field goal as time expired. We didn't have any more timeouts. But you think there, if we get the ball in the end zone, we go in at half down 28-21.
Yeah.
We get the ball back in the second half, do exactly what we did. We drove down again, got inside the red zone with an opportunity to score a touchdown, and had to kick a field goal and come away with 3 points. And so, I think it was exciting. I mean, I just feel that our kids are really, really starting to put it all together. Again, I will, I'm not trying to make excuses, or I'm not trying to, but man, we've played a tough schedule, just a really, really tough schedule. And I really believe, coming through this that, I just believe that we're going to be right where we need to be coming through this with a great opportunity, as we lead into one more game before our district play, and just right where we need to be as district starts.
I agree. Let's talk about that second half. You hold them scoreless, only 55 total yards offense. They go combined 0 for 9 on third and fourth down. I think it's 0 for 5 on third down, 0 for 4 on fourth down. Defense really rose to the occasion there in the second half.
We did. They were challenged. We did. We challenged our kids at halftime to really come back out and execute the way we know that they can execute. We did make a few changes, in just our coverage, which our kids really executed very well, and that's good to see, because those are some things that we weren't doing early. We were just, with our inexperience, we didn't have the knowledge, or the understanding to really change a whole lot from what we've been doing. We did it, and it was really good just to see our kids, come out and execute. Did hold them to 55 total yards the second half, and I just think that's the confidence boost that our kids needed. They really need. That's something we're really talking about right now. It's just confidence. It's really hard to execute really well when you just don't have the confidence, whether it be in yourself or whether your understanding of the scheme or where you fit. And really seeing our kids do that, and just excited because, again, a tale of two halves. Because I think in the first half, I think they were 5 for 5 on third down,
They were.
and then come out the second half and they're 0 for 5 for third down. So it just shows what we can do, when our kids lock in and really execute the way that we believe we can.
I mean, I think that I can confidently say, we'll look at Bushland definitely the rest of the year. Nobody will hold them to 55 yards in any half.
I don't think so, and the 28 points, I think, was good as well.
Right.
And if they don't come out, and we had several opportunities there in the first half. I think they scored one time on third down, and it was just really not something that they're doing, but just a bust in what we did. And so just having our kids be able to see that and understand, what we could have done.
Sure.
We think 14 of those points possibly could have,
I agree,
if we execute, come off the board. And if they do that, we win the football game.
Yeah, just a couple things
Sure.
go different. This is a completely different ball game. The last thing I want to highlight some guys. We already mentioned him. Colton Mills throws for 342, threw 47 times in the game.
Again, something you haven't seen us do in a while.
JG, Jonathan Gutierrez, I love this kid because he's got – what I know of him, has such a good attitude, seems to be a hard worker.
Sure.
And he has a breakthrough game, 9 catches, 114 yards.
I just proud of our kids, really, really proud of just, their ability to – because I don't – you can look back for years. Our receivers are okay with just getting out there and stock blocking and doing the things they need to do to help us win. That's what's been asked of them, a lot of other games, and their opportunity came here. They had the ability to we're throwing the football around, and I'm just very proud of how they executed. Some of those, you talk about Jacob Signs right there with 111 yards, made a unbelievable catch there in the fourth quarter, over on our sideline in a lot of traffic, took a heavy hit, held on to the football. And you're starting to see that more and more from our kids, and just really, really proud of them for understanding, what we're doing, understanding their role, and then when their role is to catch the football, they execute and do a great job. And then, Colton Mills, just his ability to, get the ball out to our receivers, put it on the target. And as we talk about that, I really would like to take a lot of the focus for Colton to be able to do that, and our receivers our offensive line did an outstanding job, picking up the pass rush and the blitzes from a very, very aggressive Bushland defensive front. I thought our offensive line did a great job, and not only our offensive line, our running backs step up in there and block as well, and that it was like a wall, allowing Colton to stand back there with some confidence and deliver the football, and our receivers to be able to catch it. And so really just excited and very proud of our entire offensive unit.
One of those guys, and I don't know if I've heard this at least in a long time. Keegan Ireland graded out like at a 97.
He did.
That's unbelievable.
It is. It's unheard of, because just so much that the offensive line has to do. I mean, they're graded on their first step. They're graded on how they finish the play and their assignment, if their assignment right. And, again, that just proves, too. I mean, Keegan is a team captain for us, was selected as a team captain. And I can tell you, that young man is doing everything within his power right now, to try to help our football team win. And very, very thankful and just real proud of the effort that he gives us each Friday night.
I thought one more guy who stepped up, just took an opportunity. It was tough to run the ball all night. Credit Bushland. They did a good job of kind of stuffing things up there. And that's what they, that's one of the things, I guess, why they run what they run.
Sure.
10-1 is trying to stop that. But Luis ended up on the night 11 carries for 82 yards.
Again, just a great example of a young man, just knowing his role.
Yeah.
I'm sure he wanted to touch the football a lot more than he has in the first, 4 football games. But just a kid proving that he's ready when his number's called. He was, Eduardo went out of the game. Luis then comes in, gets every one of the reps, and was just prepared and ready when his number was called. And so it's a great example for all of our young kids or any kid that's playing right now that that might not be 100% satisfied with their current role, but understand that you're only one play away from being the man all the time, and really proud of the way that he stepped up and executed when his number was called.
Coach, overall scope, being able to play a team like Bushland gets you ready in so many different ways, and it's not just being able to see how your defense is going to adjust from half to half. But being able to see how your offensive line, receivers, running backs are going to handle pressure. What does being able to play a team like this, but also playing the atmosphere that we're able to play in on the road, a little bit hostile, how does that help your team going forward?
I think it helps us a lot. I mean, Bushland's a football team that's going to stress you in a lot of different ways.
Sure.
With their aggressive defensive front and the amount of pressure that they put on is always causes people problems, and just their fast-paced tempo offense, an offense that they feel very comfortable in. And they did. I mean, they stressed us, and it gives us the opportunity to see those things and be able to understand, and I mean, never do I want to be in this, but I just believe that things happen for a reason.
Sure.
I just believe that our kids were shown, in the first half, a little shock, shell-shocked on our heels a little bit. This is what happens. And then this is what happens when you can come back the second half and, refocus your thoughts and be challenged and execute at a high rate. And so it showed our kids. It showed our kids a lot. I think it – as we're getting closer and closer to this district race, I just think it's giving our kids the confidence that they need to be able to play and be able to win these games.
Sure.
That we're gonna because we're gonna face it again. We'll face a high-paced offense. We're gonna face a really aggressive defensive front again. And I just believe that these experiences and these opportunities that our kids are having are going to get us prepared and ready to win. When it really matters.
Well, Coach, again, as the opportunities presented themselves against Bushland, we're going to get a completely different opportunity this week. And I think that's what's so great about non-district play and being able to set things up is, you look even week to week, the different challenges and opportunities that this team has faced. There's so much that they're going to face in these 6 games of non-district that once you get to district play, you're like, you know what? You can point back to Lubbock Cooper. You can point back to Estacado or Perryton, Plainview, Bushland, and then El Paso Austin and say, guys, we've been here and done this.
Sure. Really, what's happening right now, with an inexperienced team is our guys are just week in, week out, they're adding to their toolkit. They're just adding, reference points or being able to, just to build the resources that they're going to need throughout the district play and through a playoff race that they can just experiences that they can pull back from, that they can look at, and we can say, hey, you remember in the Bushland game in the first half, you remember in the second half, and these kids are really just starting to to build their toolkit and build their abilities that they can reach in and be able to use that as a reference as we adjust and as we monitor and change throughout our football season. And so this one's another big one. I mean, another opportunity, a team that we're not real familiar with, a team that runs a different style offense than we're used to seeing around here. Yeah. And so excited about this.
Well, Coach, it gives me goosebumps a little bit just thinking about being able to play in Ratliff Stadium. We'll go on the road again. It's a neutral site game, but you get to travel. It's really gonna feel, I think. And I remember talking about this last year with you. It kind of gives you almost a dress rehearsal for playoffs because you're going to leave early. It's a Thursday game. You don't play and do those often. Playing in the most famous high school football stadium in Texas.
Sure.
Talk about that.
Well, it's a short week. We're going to play on a Thursday. Again, I like the opportunities. I like to show our kids. It might happen again. We might get in a playoff race where we got to play on a short week, and it just gives us reference points to to look back at. I mean, how did we approach the week? What did we do on Monday? What did we do on Tuesday? After a loss, I think it's always a good thing to have a short week to get to just get us back in the routine and get us going. A long road trip, excited about, just because all of it is just preparing our football team. And I love playing at home, but I also like, just getting on the road and getting our kids with us and, just being as a team. We get the opportunity to go to Lubbock, stop, walk through, get on a field that we're probably going to have a lot of an opportunity to possibly play a playoff game on. And so just familiarize ourselves with the surroundings. And then get into Ratliff Stadium. I think it's neat for our kids. If I talked to our kids the other day, I said, if you don't know, do a little research. It's just we're in history. Some of the best football in the country has been played. With Permian and Mojo, and so just excited about that. It is a Thursday night game. It is a long road trip. We're probably not going to get the crowd and all the excitement they're looking for, but it's an opportunity for us to really just focus on what we do, control what we can control, which is us and our ability to play on the football field, and just looking forward to that.
And talk about the focus that it does take. It is very different. It's a massive 20,000 seat stadium. There won't be bands.
There will not.
And there won't be a whole lot of fans. We brought I thought a good group last year and expect that again this year. And they didn't bring a whole lot last year. And so it's going to be different atmosphere. And so it is going to be a little bit different being able to focus and get things executed the way they need to.
Yeah, I think it just forces you to create your own energy.
Sure.
You're not going to get the energy from the band. You're not going to get the energy from the crowd. And so you've got to look from within. You've got to look within your teammates and just your ability to create your own energy. And I think that happens through execution. As we execute, we'll create our own energy. We'll create our own excitement. And, it's just, another opportunity for our kids to have these experiences as they grow and learn how to develop as a team.
It's pretty cool. I just think driving up to the stadium, seeing
it's neat.
Man,
it's really neat.
We do play El Paso Austin, the El Paso Austin Panthers, second year in a row to do this. Actually, third time Dumas has played them. We're 2-0 against them. They come in 2-3. We're somewhat familiar with them because we got to play them last year. What are you looking for out of tonight's opponent?
A tune-up. Really, that's my approach really right now, is that this is just an opportunity for us to really tune up, and create some momentum as we lead into district play. Yeah. It's the last one. We've talked all this preseason, pre-district play. We've talked about, hey, it doesn't matter. We're just growing experience. We're getting better. But it's getting closer and closer and closer to mattering. Yeah. And so that's my approach this week, and I think that's an approach for our football team, that this does matter. Yeah. It's a very, very, very important game for us to gain some momentum as we go into the district race. And so, That's the focus here, is to really amp up the importance of this football game, amp up the importance of our ability to execute, amp up the importance, of creating momentum as we get ready to play for district play.
So let's talk defensive side of the ball. What's going to be key tonight for the Demons as they face this El Paso offense?
We're gonna get a very, very run happy style offense. They're big. They're big on the offensive line. They're big in the backfield. Sometimes they play different people in the backfield, but sometimes they've got almost lineman type guys back there. 250, 260, really, really big guys. And so they're okay with 3 yards and a cloud of dust. They're okay with that.
Yeah.
And so I think that's our focus on defense is we have to eliminate that.
Yeah.
They're not a real fast-paced offense. They're actually quarterback walk to the sideline, get the play, walk back, run it. They're going to use every bit of the clock. And they're going to try to to limit our offense's touches, and so I think that is our key defensively is that we got to gang tackle. We've got to make sure that they're not falling forward. We've got to be able to get off the field on third down. We can't allow them to possess the football and work the clock and keep our offense off the field, and so that's our focus. They will take opportunities they've got some pretty skilled receivers. Not really what they do, but they will throw it up to them. Those guys go make plays, and so we've got to eliminate that as well and eliminate the big play in the passing game, and then just get a lot of people to the football and be great tacklers and not allow them, to get extra yards after contact.
Offensive side of the ball. What are you looking for out of the Demons to move the ball and score versus the Panther defense?
Just as we talk defensively, and what I believe is in their game plan. You look at a lot of their scores, and they're 18 to 15, 8 to 7, and that's just because of their style. And so as I look at us offensively, what they might try to do to us defensively, I've talked to our offense, and we have to take opportunity of every possession we get the football. They might be limited. We might not get as many possessions as we've got in normal games. I mean, you look at last week, I think we had like 80-something snaps offensively. That's not normal for us.
No.
And so those might drastically change in this football game. So we've got to really make sure that every possession that we get, we talked even last week. We had some great possessions, and we didn't score points.
Sure.
I think that is the importance here, is that we take opportunity of these possessions, and when we do have the football, that we execute and we're able to put points on the board every time that we do, because we might be limited on our opportunities to score offensively.
Coach, you mentioned this earlier, and I thought this was great. This is so key. I mean, this is your last non-district game.
It is.
This is kind of the last moment where you're like, okay, let's get the kinks out. Let's figure things out. But let's execute tonight.
It is, and that's it. I mean, this game is much more important than the first 5 we had. It just is, because it is just we have no more dress rehearsals. We have no more. This is our last dress rehearsal, and so I think it's very important that we execute at a very high rate and we just get the confidence in our football team that we're needing as we move into the district race. And so very, very important game in front of us.
Looking forward to it, Coach. It's going to be a neat time. I think a good memory for these kids, definitely. The opportunity getting to play in Friday Night Lights Stadium. And I know it was special last year, and they turned the lights orange after we won. So it's just kind of a neat deal.
It really is. Yes, sir. Bo Jackson was a guy that I had on my wall. That the picture where he's got the bat and he's got the shoulder pads. And
thank you for watching Dumas ISD TV. Be sure to check out these upcoming Dumas ISD events.
You're watching Dumas ISD TV.
All right, well let's move on. We've got some quick hits here. If you could have dinner with any athlete, past or present, who would it be and why?
That's a good question because I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit different, but I was just I don't know. I don't really put guys, up there on the pedestal as I just don't. I don't really ever. Now I had some guys, that maybe I wanted to be like, or guys that I like, but I never really, even playing the game of football, I could never really remember what my opposing the team. I didn't know their names. I didn't know who they were. Yeah. It's a lot different in today's time. Our kids is. And I think social media has done that. Our kids really know who they are, what their names are, because they see them all the time via social media. And so I don't know. That's a tough question for me, and I don't know that I really have an athlete, that I'd like to eat with. I mean, or sit down and have dinner. So I don't know.
Who are some of the guys you liked growing up?
I loved Bo Jackson.
Oh yeah,
I really did. I wasn't a huge baseball player. I did play baseball when I was young. We didn't have it in high school. Yeah. Ryan Sandberg was always a really, I don't know, because it may be the cool flip glasses, but he was a guy that I really liked in baseball. Yeah. Bo Jackson was a guy that I had on my wall. That the picture where he's got the bat and he's got the shoulder pads, and probably just because he's a multi-sport guy. I really like multi-sport guys that that excel in many different things in their career.
Yeah, I think definitely those guys. And I wonder about Ryan Sandberg a lot too with some of those Cubs. The Cubs games being national on WGN. Sure. A lot of people became Cubs fans and Braves fans because they were the games you watched on TV.
Exactly.
Favorite away stadium that you coached in with the Demons?
Probably Grande.
Yeah,
I really like that stadium out in Midland. I think they did a really good job building it. It's it's not a massive stadium. It's not huge. It's a really great venue for. Now it is big, but it's a really great venue for high school. I think you can. I think if you bring good crowds, you can really pack the thing. And I think it's I don't know. It's just a really good venue. It's not overly sized. I mean, I've coached in games at Cowboy Stadium, different things, but just really like the energy that stadium creates, and it's also just a really sharp high school stadium. Yeah,
it is like you can tell it was designed and built for high school football.
It really is, and I like that one.
Yeah, it was a fun place to play in. Talk about the emphasis on family, not only just with your team, but also with your coaching staff that you have here in Dumas.
Yeah, I think it's huge. I mean, we spend a lot of time together. We spend a lot of hours together, and I think it's very, very important that that you care and love one another. Through the whole process. We are. I mean, we sometimes we know our coaching staff, and I know the guys that I work with more than I even know, my own family. I just spend a lot of time with them, and I think it's important. I think it's important that it's a family deal because it honestly is. This is not just something that us coaches are involved in. I mean, it's sacrifices across the board. As we spend a lot of time up here away from our wives and away from our kids, I think it's very, very important if the thing's going to work for a long period of time. There's been a lot of coaches that have come in and out of this profession because there was not the family environment in it. They felt like dad was gone all the time and we are not a part of this. I think it's very important that you pull your family into this with you. I think it's a calling. I think not only are we as coaches called, our wives are called in this profession as well. That's when our life really changed. I mean, me and Cassie's life changed, and our entire family's life changed when we approached it in that manner. She has just as much as a part in this as I do. She's walking beside it. I mean, she's not walking a different path than me. I mean, we're walking the same. She's in it. She's extremely supportive of what I'm doing, and I think that's important for all wives. We like to have family meal on Wednesday for our home games. I think it's important that we get our kids up here. We get our wives involved, and I think it's important that our kids see it as well. I think it's important how our kids see us interact and react with our wives and our children. Because we all grow up in different households and different things, and so just giving our kids the perspective of what this is to us. This is more than a job. It's a calling. It's a 100% investment, and our wives and our kids are right in the middle of it with us.
Friday night was different for me and Daryl because we're not used to sitting with the fans.
Sure.
We're used to being up there, and when you're in the box, you're kind of cut off from the rest of everything else. You got a piece of glass, and you're just not really normally paying attention to what's happening in the stands. You know, you might big play, you might look down, see reaction of people, but Friday night, being able to be in the stands, and we sat right behind, some coach's family, but being able to see everybody and being able to be around the reaction of every single play, it was. I wish we could do it more. Sure, honestly, I mean, it was tough and it was different for us, having to set up in the stands and having all the equipment and all that kind of stuff. But it was special to me. Sure, being able to sit in the stands, because it's been 20 years since I've been to a varsity football game that I've sat in the stands, and I just thought it was really special being able to see. Every single play from families and our fans who were there, how much they held on to every single snap of what happened there.
It is, it's because it's not just a game, it's an investment. There's been a lot of sacrifices put into this, and so, they feel every emotion of the game. I mean, your wives and your kids and they feel every emotion. I mean, every time, that we fail, they fail as well. And so I don't know that people really understand that and understand the commitment to this and the hours and the sacrifices that have been spent, to watch us play. So when we succeed on the field, they feel every one of those emotions. When we fail and when we don't succeed, they feel it as well. And so really tough situation that our families are in a lot of times up there in the stands. And so, very, very thankful for them and their commitment to allowing us, to do the job that we do.
Yeah, I want to challenge, some of our fans too. Take it in some Friday night. Go sit at the top of the stands and watch what's going on with families and coaches' families and all that kind of stuff. It really, it kind of got emotional for me. I'm fixing to get emotional right now just thinking about it. But sitting and watching that, just every play was really special. Sure. So, all right, let's get past the sappy stuff here. Burning question for today: truck, car, or minivan?
I've actually I've drove a car like my entire life. I actually just got rid of my high school car, which was a Mustang that I've had my entire life. I just sold that this year. I drive a school minivan.
That's why I put that on.
I know. A school vehicle, but I would probably, if I had my choice of all of those, I would take a truck, even though I've never had the ability. I actually drove a Toyota truck in high school growing up, and a Nissan truck, but maybe I'll one of these days I'll get a truck of my own. So
I drive a truck right now, Coach. Funny thing, in high school I drove a Toyota pickup too.
Wow, really?
1980 yellow banana Toyota pickup.
There you go.
Oh man! All right, that's good stuff. Let's talk about some games that are going on this week. I think this first one's an interesting matchup. You've seen both of these teams. Lubbock Cooper going to travel and play in Lowry Field against Lubbock Coronado.
I think this is a big ball game, and if I would have predicted this 5 weeks ago, I think a little bit different now. I've seen Lubbock Coronado really get better and improve. Sure. Yeah. We scrimmaged them, and they've gotten better. And I think they beat a Lubbock Cooper or an Abilene Cooper football team last week or a couple weeks ago, and so they're doing some good things. I think it's going to be a tough football game. But as we've Lubbock Cooper as well. They went into Wichita Falls Ryder. Yeah. I think Lubbock Cooper's coming off of an open week, and so they've had an extra week to prepare, and that'll be a big ball game. And I don't know that I have a prediction. I just I think it's going to be a great football game. Yeah. Played between two really good football teams.
I do too. That's to me going to be. There going to be some pad popping.
There will be. There will be
game between those two teams. It'll be a fun atmosphere too.
It will.
Just being down there in Lubbock, both those teams. I think a lot of people will go out and watch this game.
Sure.
So a lot of fun down there in Lubbock. Next one, Perryton travels up to Stratford.
Big ball game as well. Obviously, Stratford, playing up a couple of classes. Stratford has a really good football team, but I think this is definitely a challenge. But Perryton's coming off of a win last week, got their first win against Pampa. I think they lost their quarterback, but maybe I think their backup quarterback is their starting outside linebacker. He's a big physical 6'3", 190, 200-pound athlete, and I think he came in against Pampa and did some really good things. And so I think it's a challenge. I think it's a big-time challenge for Stratford. But what Stratford does have going for them is, just a program that knows how to win, no matter who they're playing against. I think Stratford will bring everything they have, and I think they'll really test Perryton as well. And again, I don't know. It being in Stratford, maybe the home team. Maybe I take the home team in this, but I do. I think that game could go either way.
And Stratford is one of the few places that has grass fields still, and I think that's so unique up there.
Agree.
With the grass up there.
Agree.
Lubbock Estacado going to travel and play Sweetwater.
I think both these teams are 4-1. I think Estacado's coming off a loss last week, and so go and play a really talented Sweetwater team. I think really Sweetwater's starting to really find their way. They had a new coach maybe just for the last couple of years, but they're really starting to find their identity and play really good football. I think Estacado might be a little bit fired up and ready after their last game. They played a really close game against West Plains, and then just made some errors late in the game that really caused them to lose that football game. Going to be a good game at Sweetwater, and so I don't know. Maybe I take the home team in this. Sweetwater, when we're talking about venues, a really cool place to play as well.
Yeah, it is. Mustang Bowl.
The Mustang Bowl. It's a really neat stadium. I think as the teams enter, they walk down through that stadium right there and come down. So really neat stadium to play in. I think this is going to be a battle.
Yeah, I agree. Cool place. Next one might be the biggest game in 4A Division I this week. Stephenville going to travel to, it's called Gordon Wood Stadium in Brownwood and play them.
A big football game. Two rivals. It doesn't matter really what the records are of these two teams coming in. Stephenville and Brownwood have been rivals for a long time. Really play well against. I think Brownwood is I don't know about a surprise, but I think they're playing really good football right now. Stephenville has been in some close games versus some really good people. Some high scoring games. Stephenville has been in some really high scoring games. 56, 55 points.
Brownwood's a team that we could see.
They are. They were a team that I watched last year, and is coming in because they played Wichita Falls High after we did, and really looking at it, I thought Brownwood would really win that football game, but they didn't. Wichita Falls High played really well, and again, just really stuck hard in my craw a little bit because you just sit there, a game that you thought you played good enough to win, and just watch them roll on and play 4 rounds deep. And so I don't know who to take in that. It is at Brownwood. I think Brownwood will be really hard to beat at home. But I don't know. I think Stephenville might have the football team to knock them off.
Well, all 4 of our district teams in their last tune-ups, I think some really good matchups. In fact, I think every single one of these matchups are going to be a test for these teams, and maybe even the best teams that they've played all season. Canadian going to travel to Canyon on Thursday night and play against Randall.
I think that's a bit. I do. Our entire district, I think, is playing some really, really tough opponents, and so this will just be a test for our district to see, where we're at. Canadian. I think Randall went into Canadian last year, and Canadian really got after them. And I think I think it's going to be a tough task. For Randall. Canadian again is hitting on all cylinders. They're run by a very talented, coach's kid at quarterback that has an understanding of their system, and so I think this is going to be a really tough game. I'm real interested to see how this ends, and then our entire district I think is really going to be tested this week. Maybe this week more than any other week they have.
Canyon and goes on the road to play at Andrews. And Andrews kind of been clicking.
They have. I mean, I've been looking at their scores and seeing what they're doing. Andrews is, I think, testing a new single wing style offense, something that they have not done.
Yeah.
A lot of people talked early, that they might go through some growing pains learning this, but it's a system that would probably really fit their kids. And I think they've proved that. So I think Canyon. I mean, that game has always been tough.
Yes.
Whether it was at Canyon or at Andrews, it's always been a battle. And I think this one will be no different.
Maybe one of the biggest rivalries that's still played up here in the Panhandle. These teams hate each other with a passion. Pampa going to travel to Borger.
Tough game. Borger's coming off a really big win. They just beat an undefeated Dalhart team.
Yeah.
And so I think Borger's playing with a little confidence right now. Pampa, just as of recent, is struggling a little bit. They just dropped one to Perryton. And so but again, I think you can throw all of the records out the window. This is a game that's been played for a long time, and it's been a very, very big rivalry game. And, I think this game will be, just as you talk, about Perryton, and Pampa, I think this is a very similar one that's just a tough ball game, that the kids really get after and enjoy. And so it's going to be a really good football game.
Talking about a good football game. Friday night at Kimbrough Stadium, you've got Hereford at West Plains. Both of these teams, Hereford 5-0 right now. West Plains coming off a big win down in Lowry Field against Lubbock Estacado. This one may be the biggest game in the Panhandle on Friday night.
I agree. It's going to be a good one. West Plains just knocking off, a ranked Estacado team, and then here I think Hereford's actually ranked in the top 10 this week.
Oh, they are.
They are. I think they came in at number 10, and so another great opportunity.
Sure.
Both teams having a whole lot of success right now, and I think this is a big time game, played here in the Panhandle, and just really I'm anxious to see how this one turns out.
It's going to be good. Well, Coach, here we are. Last game before district play. We're halfway through the season.
I know.
Regular season at least.
I can't believe that.
Game wise, there is 11 weeks to the regular season, so this is the midway point. Good luck tonight. Safe travels. It's going to be one of them long road trips.
It is.
But it'll be a lot of fun.
It's a long one. We're hitting the road at 8:30 in the morning and on the road, and then get back extremely late. And so excited about the opportunity. Excited about just the importance of this game. I really am. I think this game is really, really, really important as we try to gain momentum and move into district play. So excited about that and looking forward to a really good football game.
Coach, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you.
Hey, kickoff is next at Ratliff Stadium as the Dumas Demons get ready to take on the El Paso Austin Panthers. We'll see you right after this.
You're watching Dumas ISD TV.